Welcome to the overview and introduction for Unit 3. In this unit, we'll be talking about ancient comedy. There are many similarities between the development of tragedy and the development of comedy in the ancient world. For instance, to name just a couple, they both developed from ancient rituals. Tragedy develops from the ritual worship of Dionysus, and comedy develops out of ancient fertility rituals. They both developed from their roots into elaborate theatrical forms, theatrical events with very formalized structures, and they both continue to have influence on modern and contemporary theatrical events and theatrical forms. So we can still feel their influence. Perhaps comedy even more strongly than tragedy. But whereas in the period tragedy remains the same, remains unified, comedy diverges. That's to say that when we studied tragedy, when we talked about tragedy and talked about the plays of Aeschylus and Sophocles and Euripides, that once that formal model of tragedy is set, it stays pretty much the same. The dramaturgy and the diction of each playwright changes. It makes the plays unique, makes their works unique, but the form stays pretty much the same. While comedy transforms and goes into two completely different directions. So we're going to read examples of both old comedy, which we sometimes call Aristophanic comedy, and then new comedy. And you're going to recognize this form immediately. Whereas Aristophanic comedy is very sexual, very licentious, with a lot of very broad humor, a lot of slapstick, a lot of buffoonery, and a lot of parody of contemporary figures, contemporary political views. New comedy is much more domestic, much more subtle, refined, based on romantic love, and the well-known boy meets girl, boy loses girl, boy gets girl model. So we're going to study both of these forms, and we're going to study the roots, how they developed, the dramaturgy, and the unique features of each of these plays. And then, of course, we're going to read important examples of the plays. We're going to watch some videos about the plays, people talking about the plays, and about the plays, and see the plays to a degree in performance. In this unit, I'm also going to get you started working on your final project. So look for, later this week, some information, a new link on the Blackboard website, and an announcement about your final creative project. And please, as always, email me with questions about the website itself, or about the content of the lectures, of the unit, or about the final project when you see that information. I hope you enjoy Unit 3 and that you have a great week.